Good morning and welcome to the Art of Heart. It is Thursday and good things happen on Thursdays. I am totally having a fangirl moment, just so everybody knows. I cannot wait for you to meet our guest today and to hear about his journey and his hearts. But man, does he have a message that resonated with me in a time where I needed a message to resonate with me. So without further ado, welcome, Dr. Rick. How are you?
I'm so glad to be here, Marissa. Thank you for the honor of the invitation, and I'm great because I am a beautiful, powerful, eternal soul having a human experience, and that's how I greet everybody on my social media videos, and that's the basis of the message that I'm putting out into the whole world with the story work that I do with people and the classes that I teach and the book that I'm writing. So that's what I'm about.
So, I was scrolling through social media, like doom scrolling, right? And all of a sudden, your message pops up, and I heard the first little part, and I kept moving, and then I went back, and I was like, "Wait a second," and I stopped and I listened, and I was like, "Wait, I'm a beautiful eternal soul having a human experience," and I
Hmm.
was like, "Oh, wait, that's me. Hi, okay, I'm here. I get it." Also, there's someone else out there who feels like they're having this human experience, and it's not just the monotony of living life, and you show up with these incredible messages
Mm.
that make us stop and think, and, not always easy, not always fun and fluffy. Sometimes I'll listen to one of your posts and I'm like, "Oh, wait, okay, maybe I need to pause. Maybe I should think about this," right? But always this, like, deep connection of this soul connection and this
Mm.
journey, and so, thank you for doing that work because we need it.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad. Do you know, I love the moment where we see, even if it's a tiny bit of it, where we see the spell we've been under, the story we've been under, the program we've signed on for, and then we say, wait a minute, does this even fit me? Like, is this who I am? Is this who I want to be from here? And so I call myself a story healer, and in the little intro that I do, it's always about emphasizing you're an eternal soul. You are a gigantic, powerful being, and you're having this human experience, and it's for you. Like the thing that you're experiencing, the thing that you're going through, even if it's hard, even if it's maybe if especially if it's hard, is for you. But you don't have to be trapped in something. You have a choice when you are ready to change, to shift, to make a decision about doing something differently. But it's all about seeing it. And it's all about seeing what the
Yes.
story was that guided us to where we are and then believing that we have the option to do something different. And so for me, that whole process, it's not just one moment, that whole process of telling people you're big and powerful and beautiful. Hello, are you in there? And you're not trapped. I know you feel trapped. I know this is scary. I know this is hard, and you have
Yeah.
power and you have options. That's the best. It's the best.
Yeah, and you're not trapped, and, I totally think I signed up to be here. I think I was like, "Hey, pick me. I
Hmm.
wanna go," and I came, and now it does feel trapped. There's so much noise and there's so much clutter that happens,
Yeah.
and you forget that you're this giant, powerful, eternal soul
Yeah.
having a human experience, and also, you get to make a decision and change. You could change 42 times a day.
Yeah. Absolutely. Please do. Do you know what I mean?
Please.
Please. I mean,
We welcome that.
yes, hello. I need to put that on the website. Please, we welcome that. Change 42 times today. Like the thing that we're all signed on for, that we signed on for as children, that we signed on for as young people, which, I mean, we were trying to figure out how to survive. We were trying to figure out what the rules were.
Yeah.
And we figured it out and we came up with the program and we followed the script and the whole thing. And at some point, it doesn't fit. It's not big enough for
No.
the thing that inside us, the thing that's within us wants to become and that we were created to be. And so I feel like a
Yes.
big part of that is remembering that there is this other part of ourselves that's our true self. And then doing the work to say, well, what's in the way and what can I let go and what can I thank and send on its way? And it might feel slow, but it's not. We're going really, really
No.
fast. You know what I mean?
So fast, and the remembering is such a big part for me because sometimes, like, even in the course of a day, I will forget. I get caught up in the here and the now and the physical
Hmm.
presence, and I'm like, "Oh, wait, nope. This isn't who we are anymore. This isn't what we wanna do. This isn't how we wanna show up." And it's been for me in this journey in the past, half a year has been a journey of remembering. I don't think that there's any new information.
Mm.
I just think I'm remembering who I am.
Yeah, absolutely. And then when we remember who we are, then we have access to this whole other, much larger, not just vocabulary, but awareness of what's possible
Yes.
when we remember who we are. And I love the moments when people say, "Wait a minute, I have an option here." Yes,
Yeah,
everything is optional. Everything is a choice. And then we just get to
everything.
play, right? We just get to play. We get to see what's possible.
Yeah, and have fun.
Yeah. 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 It might be
Amazing.
messy. Okay. It's messy.
S Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
All
wash your
right.
hands later. Keep moving,
Right.
right? It's totally
Right.
fine.
Right.
Um, so, as part of this process that I've been through of figuring out what my heart looked like and mapping the waypoints, I keep having these amazing discussions about, like, what did your heart look like? And,
Mm.
the fact that you say you're a story healer is so resonates with me, right? Because I think that these stories that make up who we are, they tell it's like a map. You have like you everybody's like, "Oh, we don't have a map for life." But do you? Because these
Mm.
stories become part of your map to help you reflect on who you don't want to be. You can change your mind, who you
Hmm.
do want to be,
Hmm.
where joy happens, all those things. And when when we get on here and we listen to these stories, the hope is that someone on the other side will hear just a moment of a story
Mm.
or how a heart looked and be like, "Oh, I'm okay,"
Hmm.
or other people are going through that messy, right? Or there's hard, there's gonna be good soon, or I'm in the middle of good, there might be an aha. And so the stories that you're gonna share today are not only amazing stories, um, but they have become the fabric of who you are.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. Thank you, Marissa. You said it perfectly. And for me, when I'm hearing somebody's story or when I'm looking at my own story or a thread that's run through, I, 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 there is a deep part of me that always wants to just say yes to the thing that is, to the thing that happened, to the thing that is in front of me, to the way that I made meaning around it, just to say yes
Yes.
before I rush off and go, okay, and I'd like to change this and I'd like to fix this and I'd like to make this differently. Like the thing that is and the thing that happened is such a gift, even the worst parts of it, because then I can say, okay, so when I say I'm a story healer, nobody needs to be healed. There's nothing wrong with you. Your
No.
story, especially the parts of it that have kept you imprisoned or have kept you small, let's work on the story and see it differently
Mhm.
and rewrite it and make a new story and come up with not just a story, but an adventure, which is what the book that I'm
Yes.
writing is about. But you're fine. You're wonderful. You're amazing. You're beautiful. You're powerful. All that stuff. So that's the work we're doing.
I love it. So let's jump into the story of the day you let go.
Hmm. I was a college English teacher for 10 years and I loved it. And then I started having spiritual experiences and I couldn't figure out what was happening. And I went into the only place that I knew to go, which was the church,
Mhm.
which is the context that I was in. And I ended up going into ministry and I was in ministry for 10 years. And the whole time I felt like something was wrong with me because I kept having mystical experiences, which religion didn't really have an answer for. But then I would hear about
Yes.
Jesus and Mary Magdalene and John the Baptist and then I got into Eastern mysticism and then I found out about Rumi and then I found out about the beautiful Hindu teachers and then I started learning about Native American spirituality and other indigenous spirituality and the connection with this other part of our selfhood was everywhere. And so I ended up leaving
Everywhere.
right? And so I ended up leaving religion basically. I led a faith community here in Austin for 17 years that was really messy and people could ask their questions and we were, doing good beautiful work in the community and all that stuff and it was great. And I was in ministry for 30 years and I finally just ran out of juice. I was out of the ability to help people anymore. I was just done. And I was broken and I was scared and I'd gotten divorced and remarried, and we had moved from Austin to Santa Fe to the desert to get a fresh start, and I was there in the desert, terrified, because I had this belief, this thing that I don't know who I am anymore, and all I know is I can feel God or source or spirit or the universe or something. Now what? And it was terrifying, and then I let go. And I just said, okay, I give up. I surrender. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how to go forward from here. I don't know. I don't have a map. I don't have an answer. I'm scared. And I'm just going to say yes and fall. And then that's what happened. And I just fell.
You just fell.
Yeah.
So I have to share this story. It's just so interesting that I have a lot of really intense dreams. And in fact, people will say to me, like, I don't dream like you dream. Like, I wake up and I've had an entire adventure when I slept. And I would argue that maybe I went somewhere. Like, I have all these really wild, I don't know.
Sure.
And so I had, right? So I had this dream where I was in this old West town and there were 7 buildings and I was being hunted. Like, I was being actually hunted.
Mm.
And so I'm like trying to wake myself up. I'm like, okay, wrist, wake up. It's time to wake up. Let's go. Let's wake up. It was stressful, right? And I get to the 7th building. And again, this man had owned 7 buildings, and there's a metal bust of Mary. And I'm like, "Oh," and then I wake up and I was like, "Oh, that's great," right? And I remember the dream. So the next night I go to sleep, I'm back in the dream. And I'm like, "Okay, I don't wanna do this again. I spent all last night being hunted. I'm
Right.
exhausted. So
Right.
I'm gonna go back to the 7th building, right? And I'm going to go back because I guess if I get to Mary, I wake up."
Okay.
And so I get back to the 7th building and I touch Mary and I'm in like a portal. And
Mm.
in my dream, I can see these like curio cabinets that are full. There's like probably 80 of them. And they're all full of all these different things. And I recognize some things. And I look and I see a rosary and a Bible.
Okay.
And it's all of these things that are attached to the Catholic faith.
Mm-hmm.
And then I look to the right and there's a menorah and the Torah. And I was like, oh. And so here
Oh.
comes this woman and energetically, I know it's Mary. And she says, "Isn't this neat?" And I'm like, "Well, first of all, I'm in a dream and Mary Magdalene is clearly talking to me and there's all of these cabinets. This is a little wild, right?" And she says, "We created all these things to meet people where they were."
Mm-hmm.
And it was this very profound moment because I also have learned about all different religions and
Mm-hmm.
spiritual things
Mm-hmm.
and find it all to be fascinating. And when she's telling me like there's all these options, we meet people where they are,
Mm-hmm.
and then I hear a story like yours, I think, okay, that makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, because it's everywhere. Because like, C.S. Lewis, who wrote the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, said that every culture is always hearing what he called God's good dreams. Like every culture throughout the world, like we're hearing the eternal soul within us is connected to the eternal soul that is. Like we are waves of an ocean, of the thing that is everything. And then within each different culture and within each different subculture and within each different movement of people who get excited about something or have an experience about something, then they create a container and they create an experience and then they welcome people into it. And some of them take off and there's millions or billions of adherents, and some of them are little and some of them are intimate and some of them are, they last for a while and then they go away. All of them are simply fingers pointing to the moon. Do you know what I mean? And now we're killing each other over whose finger is better, which is ridiculous, right? That's not it.
Absolutely ridiculous.
My spirituality overflowed the banks of my religious context, which gave me the ability to just say, okay, I'm just open to whatever comes. And in that place of being open, something wonderful happened. And it was life giving and beautiful and amazing. But I think first, it was necessary for me to get to the place where I just gave up and said, I let go. I don't know. I don't know what's supposed to happen. All the stuff I've tried since I left ministry isn't working. I'm just going to sit here and look at the sun and at the sunset here in the desert and just let go. And I did. And it was terrifying and wonderful, beautiful,
All
amazing.
at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Things can be this and that. You can be terrified and having this wonderful experience at the same time.
I mean, it's better than being asleep. I don't mean like asleep and having a beautiful dream like you're having. I mean like sleepwalking. We're just sleepwalking because we don't want to feel all this stuff, which is a huge mistake. Feel
Huge.
things, right? Do you know what I mean? Like that's what we're here for, is to experience and to feel and to grow and to stretch. And some of that is ecstatic and some of it is painful. Okay. More, please.
Okay.
Like that's the prayer.
Yes.
More, please. Yeah.
More, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had through this podcast experience, I have people in my life who are listening, which is amazing, and they're supporting me, which I'm so grateful for.
Yay.
And strangers and all, right. And I had somebody message a few weeks ago. They're like, "Oh, I didn't like the podcast this week," and I said, "Okay, can you tell me why?"
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "Well, the story was hard, and the guy's son died." And I said, "Yeah." And he
Mm-hmm.
turned that terrible thing that happened into a way to help other people through their terrible thing that happened. And that is beautiful. And that is a
Yes.
gift. And
Yes.
he's like, "Well, I don't want to hear about that." And I'm like, "Okay."
Okay.
Because
Okay.
okay,
Okay.
I'm over here like, "More please. More
Yes.
please."
Yes. 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 And sitting there at our house in Santa Fe in like the literal desert, which my wife and I laugh about. We left home and went to the desert to go reinvent ourselves. And, like in the Bible and in the great stories and the fairy tales and whatever else, you go out to the desert to struggle and to. And the beautiful part was that I heard really, really clearly something drop in and say, do you want to help people, but do it in a way that works for how you want to live now? And I was like, is that an option? And then people started contacting me and said, will you teach this class? Will you lead this workshop? Will you lead this retreat? Can I meet with you about spiritual direction? And that's where the practice that I'm doing now came from. That was 3 years ago. It came from this place of just totally giving up and being in total confusion and total burnout and giving up and saying, I guess I'll just go, I don't know, work at the grocery store. Like I was just stuck. And I quit. And then I quit fighting. And then all this beauty came. And now I have clients all over the world and I lead retreats and I'm writing a book. And it's because I gave up and let go. Who knew? I thought it was about working harder and striving more and controlling more and figuring everything out. That's not a thing.
No, it's not a thing. And if you're still doing that, stop.
Please stop.
Like, stop.
Please stop.
It's so much better on the other side, I promise.
What she said. Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
if we think about when you let go and
Mhm.
that real aha moment, tell me what your heart looked like. Describe it.
I feel like it was beating hard. Do you know what I mean? Like there was this
Mhm.
big, powerful, like something was shifting. Something was
Mm.
I didn't know it, but something was awakening. And so there was power in it and it was big and it was strong. And I think I was moving from mind into heart. And so, sometimes when we say my heart was like beating out of my chest, like I feel like I was going to die, but we're not going to die. It's that we are
No.
awakening, like where something is coming to life within us. And I feel like at that moment in that space, that my heart was awakening and it was like deepening and it was redder than it had ever been and it was
Yes.
bigger than it had ever been. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That fullness of like when you think of something just being strong and almost like your heart was growing to fit what was
Mm-hmm.
next, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm like the Grinch. My
So
heart grew
cool.
3 sizes or whatever you know what I mean? Like, when the Grinch's heart grows and it gets big enough for the
Oh
task
yeah.
that's in front of him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I
that's what
love
my heart
that.
was like then. I think that my heart was expanding and getting deeper, and I was clearly accessing other wisdom than conventional wisdom, like heart wisdom, like a deeper knowing, like an older knowing that came
Yes.
from surrendering to and being open to that despair and not knowing the answer and just and
Yeah.
surrendering and letting go and being open, and then something could happen.
And then something could happen. Because
Mhm.
what happens is we fill our heart with all these things that we think we're supposed to fill it with,
Huh.
and we don't leave any space for something to happen.
I think we're afraid for something to happen, don't you?
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah.
Because, like, I'm really good. Like, I can plan with the best of them. Like, we can have spreadsheets and timelines, and I can tell you all the possible outcomes, and I can tell you this is gonna go wrong. I can do all that. But when I do all that, I leave absolutely no room for the wonder that could happen if I had just a skosh of space.
That's really wise. That's really wise. And Marissa, what the thing that you just pointed out about having it figured out, like the spreadsheets and the and being able to predict and think what's going to go wrong and how things are supposed to go, and if that's then this. The beautiful gift in that is that we do need to think about, like, how do we build a bridge? We need to do the math. Like, that's good.
Of course.
And at the same time, the human experience is not that. Like,
Mhm.
it's so mysterious, and that thing that you just talked about does not leave room for mystery. It tries to get rid of
No.
mystery, and the joy is in the mystery. Like, that's where
Yes.
life is, in the in between places
Yes.
and in the places that we're not in control of. I really believe that.
I do too, and it's like I spent so much time, okay, I need to build a bridge because there's a little bit of water I have to cross and I can get all these items and I was so focused and just right to the right was a natural bridge. There was land and there was no water, but I never saw it cuz I only was focusing on this.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Time and time and time again.
Yeah.
And I mean just swivel your head a little bit.
Yeah.
It was
I
right
just had
there
it was right there. It was right there.
the whole time.
It's like in Field of Dreams when the guy, when the banker finally has his awakening, he goes, "When did all these ball players get here?" And you're like, "Oh, that's fine. That's it. You need to sit down. That's okay. You've had a big day.
You've had a big day. Just take a moment.
It's okay. Would you like some
Yeah.
lemonade? Come inside."
Yes.
Awakening is not for sissies. I'm just saying it's not for cowards. You know what I mean? We're in it. We're
No.
we're in it. It's work. Yeah.
No, no, and, like, I didn't plan my awakening, it planned me,
Hmm.
and then you now go through and you're like, "Oh, oh, oh," and it's like, I just get an aha moment after aha moment after aha moment, and I'm like, that was there the whole time, I'm like, what was I doing?"
Mm.
Like, how did I prioritize all of these things? Um, in fact, I was on a call with a bunch of amazing humans who have this open heart, strong backs leadership
Mm.
conversation once a month. And um, it was so interesting to me because typically when we come to a meeting, right, like we spout off like our title and our credentials
Right.
and where we went to school and all these
Right.
things,
Right.
right?
Right. Right.
And this group, they showed up and they were like, um, who is showing up today? And I was like, "Oh," and people were like some people were super happy, they were having a great day, and other people were battling struggles that I
Mm.
cannot even put into words,
Hmm.
and I was like, "Wow, okay, there are people who are showing up as themselves, right?" And here, I
Yes.
had to remember again that I am in this human experience, and
Right.
on that particular day, right, on that particular day, I was super weary, that was the best I was weary,
Hmm.
and I showed up weary and it was okay. And so as you go through this experience of awakening, enlightenment, whatever the
Hmm.
word is,
Hmm.
and it's happening to people all over the world right now,
Yes.
right? And we
Yes.
keep meeting people who were going through it.
Yes.
And man, it's tough. And at the end of the call, somebody said, I'm just trying to make sure that tomorrow I can show up as the best version of myself with what I learned today.
Mm,
And whatever that is, if that's that we're going through hard things, that I show up as prepared as I can be for whatever's going to happen next.
yes.
And I was like,
Yeah.
right on. Okay. Me
That
too.
that kind of authenticity is so rare because we're so locked into, again, the spreadsheet and the how we're supposed to look and how we're supposed to have everything under control. And I would much rather be with people who are messy and are real and are showing up fully as they are, and they can walk in and say, I'm a disaster today, but I'm here. As
Yeah.
opposed to, we're all, all our training to keep that under the lid, and then I'm good and I'm fine. And then what do? It all comes out sideways, or it comes out in the
Oh
meeting
yeah.
after the meeting, or it comes out in gossip, or it comes out in, I mean, right? And we're missing out on the opportunity just to be fully, authentically present, messy and
Yeah.
mysterious and not knowing. And then something beautiful can happen. I really believe that.
And then something beautiful can happen.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So the next story that you're going to share with us is when you saw your mother's spirit.
Oh, golly.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait.
I'll make it a short version of the story. We had been estranged for a number of years. And by the way, I should tell you that she's here, like my mother's spirit. She's been gone for 15 years. She's like in the room with me, and she's got this white dress on with petticoats like from the 1950s, and she's swirling around, and she's really proud of herself, which is so beautiful. we
I
had
love it.
we had been like super estranged. She had personality disorder. She was really violent. She had addiction off and on. And then I got news that she was dying, and I did not go to see her because I didn't feel like that was safe for me or for my first wife and my kids. And so I did my own grieving in my own way, and it was sad. And a week later,
Mm.
but I was okay. I was like, okay, this is Marianne's. That's my mom's name, Marianne. Marianne's path is her path, and I bless her and I thank her and whatever. But she had been really critical because of a lot of shame that she experienced growing up and a lot of trauma that she had experienced growing up. And she would get really mad and say, "You're stupid and you're just like your father and you're never going to be anything. And I should have aborted you like everybody told me to," and all that kind of stuff. And a week after she died, I was taking a bubble bath, which was really rare. I'm a shower person. And I was in the bubble bath, and I felt her spirit come into the room. This was really all new for me. This is like 15 years ago. This was not a realm that I was in very often, even though I was in the spiritual world. And I felt her take me to another place. And my spirit or my essence or my soul or whatever was standing there, and there was a river in front of me, and just on the other side of the river was my mother in her white dress with petticoats, and she was just floating above the grass, and behind her is a gigantic beautiful field, and on the other side of the field are mountains, and she was smiling and joyful like I'd never seen her before. And I looked at her and said, like, I guess telepathically, like, what are we doing right now? And she looked at me and said, without moving her mouth, it was all just connection between us. She said, I mean, I'm thinking of in Bridesmaids when what Melissa McCarthy's talking about falling off the ship, and I was communicating with the dolphin. I'm assuming telepathically, like that. I realize it sounds just like that, but
Yes.
anyway, she said to me, "Sweetheart, all those things that I said." And I knew that she meant all of the shaming messages and all of the fearful messages and all of the, you need to do this and you shouldn't do this and haven't been this and you've disappointed me and you're whatever. She said, "Sweetheart, all those things that I said, I was mistaken. I'm sorry." This is a woman who had never apologized ever in her earthly life. And I thought, whatever experience you're having, I'd like to have that, because holy cow, what is happening right now? And she's just smart, like light is coming off of her. And then her mother, who had died, comes and stands beside her, and she's smiling. And then her husband, my step grandfather, the only man that I knew as a grandfather, he stands there and he's smiling. And then my mother's biological father, who had died in World War II, who was shot in Germany at 28 years old, he's standing there smiling, beaming, and then the whole field is full of all my ancestors. And they're all
Wow.
joyful, like joyful. And I'm standing there floating or whatever, just taking all this in and feeling all of this love. And I realize, oh, this is for me. Like
Oh, yeah.
this is all for
A
me.
gift.
Like, right. Like all of these beautiful spirits traveled all this way to have this experience for my mother, to have her closure so that she can go on to the work that's after her, that's after this for her. But this is for me. And
Wow.
I just thanked her and thanked them all and stood there and was just not stood there. I'm still like my body's still sitting like in the bubble bath.
Right.
But I just thanked her and she just smiled and was joyful. And then I was back in the bathtub. Just like that.
Wow. Just
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
What a
And
gift.
oh my gosh, the peace that I felt and the joy that I felt and the connection that for me was possible at that point. And I was starting a different stage in my spiritual journey anyway. So I think that was part
Mhm.
of what was made this possible. But I was able to make the connection of the thing that happens in this lifetime does not define who we are. Like there is
Yes.
so much going on that we can't see. And so again, my
Yes.
spirituality started getting bigger and bigger and bigger after this because I was so interested in so what else is what else is possible? And then I got super into learning about near death experiences and what people experience when they slip out of this body and they go do something else. And then like 10 years later, 8 years later, my current wife Christina and I were having a woman come and do a house blessing on our first house that we moved into, and she said something about, "Oh, your mom," and I was like, "What? What?" And she goes, "She said to tell you she's great and she's finished. Like she's done all the work that she needed to do. She's completed her contract. She's great. She's out of here." And so I have taken that energy with me. And in client sessions, a lot of the time, I'll be able to see some part of their spiritual entity, their existence, their soul. I'll be able to sense their ancestors' presence with them. I'll be able to sense my mother. My father was a harder sell. He was real. It took a long time for him to show up. And just earlier this year, in 2025, in a shared psychedelic journey that I was part of, my father showed up in beatified, joyful raiment, glowing, and was like, "Hey, I dropped all my shame." He was in his high school basketball uniform. He was dribbling a basketball. He was like, "I dropped all my shame. Proud of you, son." Takes off. I'm like, "I'm good. I'm great. Everything's good. I'm good. It's all gravy after this."
Off he goes. So in that moment, in that experience, you're sitting in the bathtub,
Yeah.
you have this you created space, and because you created space, you had this amazing moment. What does your heart
Mhm.
look like?
Oh, it's radiant. It's light. It's joyful. It's exploding with light. It's there's no real boundary to the heart in that moment. Do you know what I mean? It's not even contained in
Yes.
my body. It's like I'm one with everything that
Yes.
is radiant and light and loving and beautiful and possible. It's expanding and expanding and expanding and expanding and expanding. And there's no putting it back in the box after that. Do you know?
No. No.
Yeah.
Those experiences that they're just that you're never gonna put that it's never gonna be contained, and there will always be something that connects us back to that experience. I'm sure that you have thought about that umpteen times,
Every
right?
day. Every day.
Every
Every
day.
day. Every day. I mean, to use religious language, it was a kind of a conversion experience. Like I really experienced life after this life. Like I could see something that was
Yes.
happening symbolically. I don't know if that field is real or not real. It doesn't matter. It was real in that
Doesn't
moment.
matter.
It was
It
real in
doesn't
that
matter.
moment. That energetic exchange between me and my mother, the woman who chose in her soul plan to give birth to me, it rewrote the whole story about, well, I should have aborted you like everybody told me to. It was her saying, I was mistaken. You're supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be here. We're supposed to be here. This is the work. Do the work. I'm here for you. And now she just
Yeah.
shows up and twirls around and, is happy. She gets to be joyful because she's part of the work that I'm doing.
Yes.
It's pretty good.
Man, that's like really good stuff. Like those are the things that we should be talking about. Like I do think that I think everybody has magical experiences that are beyond the here and now and what we know to describe. And I don't think we talk about them because what if somebody thinks that's weird? Or
Yeah,
what if
yeah, yeah.
somebody thinks that that's whatever? But I've had them. So one of the things that I experienced, my dad was also very hard on me.
Mm,
Extremely hard. Like critical. I was never good enough, smart enough, pretty enough, thin enough. I was nothing I ever did was correct.
got it.
And constant um the constant track of less than, right?
Yeah.
And I always carried his voice in my head. So like when I would make a decision, I would hear my dad telling me this is why you shouldn't, this is whatever, all the time,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And it's been almost 2 years ago since he passed away. I also should tell you that my dad was probably my best friend.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a very weird
Mm-hmm.
juxtaposition of like we spent a lot of time together. He was the one I called when I needed something. Um, and it was actually my stepdad, but
Mm-hmm.
he's who raised me
Right.
versus this track of less than in my head. And so it was almost 2 years ago now, he died, and it was a very traumatic 2 weeks
Mm.
of his death, but the moment he died, that voice went away, and I didn't hear the track anymore, and for a couple days, I was like, "Are you gonna say something? Are you gonna be critical? Am I doing it wrong?"
Oh my
And
gosh.
then I started asking people, I was like, "Do you guys hear, like, someone else's track in your head?" And they're like, "No." And I'm like, "Well, because my dad's voice is gone, and now this is weird because I've spent 42 at
Mm-hmm.
this point years or 43 years being told I'm doing it wrong and I could be doing it better, and now all of a
Mm.
sudden that's gone." And it was like this gift of freedom to choose my own things
Yes.
and my own path.
Yes.
And again, things I didn't talk about because everyone's like, "What do you mean you hear your dad's voice in your head telling you like that doesn't look good or you shouldn't go after this job or you shouldn't say
Mm-hmm.
that because that's constant." And
Mm.
then it was gone.
Wow. Marissa, that's like a miracle. That's like a
It was like a
transcendent
miracle.
experience. That's like a supernatural, like a like a rewiring. That's incredible.
It was a mystical, magical experience that um I now, when I look back on the stories of those 2 weeks, we had some moments where he was in the death process trying to right those wrongs.
Yeah.
And he was trying to and if he were here today, he would probably say, this is what I make up in my own head, is that he did and said those things because I was sensitive and I was
Mm.
kind, and he wanted to make sure that I was safe and strong. And he thought that if he did those things that I would be safe and strong, and he was doing his best.
Yep. I get it.
He did his best. But when that is gone, now what?
Yeah.
Now I have space to have my own thoughts and my own
Mm.
things. But we need to have these stories. And, if you're listening and you've had a mystical, magical experience and something that is beyond whatever this here and now, talk about it.
Hmm. Talk about it.
Talk about it.
And here's the
Think about
thing.
it.
I mean, do I have to? I don't, for me personally, and I was still in the religious world at that point, I don't need for that to, I don't need to be able to put it in a Tupperware container of meaning that has a
No.
label on it so that I'll feel better or so that it'll make sense. I just get to take that with me in my body, in my heart. Like I get to take that expanded, radiant, light filled heart with me and then keep doing the thing that I'm doing, whatever that is. Like I get to just take it with me. It's just part of who I am now. And
Just part of who you are
I
now.
don't have to have it figured out. I don't have to, and everybody's having experiences all the time that don't make sense, in which case, let's talk about them and share them and own them, right? Because they're
Yeah.
all over the place. They're everywhere. That's how we grow.
It's how we grow.
Yeah.
So, if you had one piece of advice to leave people with today, what would it be?
Um, Wake up and ask for more. I know it's hard. I know it's scary, but you are here. You're here. Thich Nhat Hanh said, because you are alive, everything is possible. You're here. So ask for more. Say, I want to learn more. I want to grow more. I want to have more brought to me, and trust that everything that you need will be given, including the strength and the resources and everything that you need.
I love it. Ask for more.
Yeah.
So, today, as you go into the world, what are you going to ask for more about? I'm super
Mm.
excited for people to be left with this message and for me to be left with it. Thank you so much for being on today. It has been a wonderful experience for me.
Oh, thank you, Marissa. This is a delight.
I
Thank you
appreciate it.
for the work that you're doing. It's beautiful and it's meaningful. And thank you for how you are helping us all connect to the state of our hearts and where we are and who we are becoming.